Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. My name is Ramsha Wasim and I am the student of Farm Day second year third semester. My seat number is EBP 2001124. Today I will be presenting my physiology lab assignment, and the topic that has been assigned to me is to record the normal respiratory rate and to observe the effect of reading, coughing, deglutition, exercise, voluntary apnea, and hyperventilation. But before moving ahead, I would like to discuss these terminologies that are the part of my topic so that my topic would become easier. What is deglutition? It is a process of swallowing. It is a reflex mechanism by which food is pushed from the oral cavity into esophagus and then stomach. What is voluntary apnea? It is the temporary cessation of breathing, which means सांस का आर्जी तौर पर रुक जाना. What is hyperventilation? It is a condition in which we start breathing rapidly. It is also called overbreathing, which means तेज तेज सांस लेना. I hope these terminologies are clear now. Let's move ahead. In this slide, you can see the objects written which we have already discussed. Let's discuss the requirements now. The things that are required to perform these experiment is stethograph, kymograph with drum, glass of water, Marais timbre, and a book to read. You can also see the requirements on the pictures on this slide. The normal breathing rate of human is about 12 to 14 breaths per minute. However, it can vary depending upon different conditions. So now we'll be discussing those conditions. Effect of reading on respiratory rate. So what is the effect of reading on respiratory rate? When we are reading, there is a change in our normal respiratory rate due to the fact that the air is expired through vocal cords. Effect of coughing. What is a cough? We all know that coughing means khansna. It is a defensive reflex mechanism. Air is inspired forcefully, making epiglottis closed. It means that coughing gonna definitely affect our normal respiratory rate. Effect of deglutition, as I have discussed earlier. What is deglutition? It is the process of taking in of the food, or you can say inhalation of food. So while breathing, air always flow through the pharynx. While swallowing, the pharynx changes from an airway into a food channel, which means that yes, deglutition is also affecting the normal respiratory rate. You can also see the picture of physiology of swallowing here. The next is effect of exercise. The breathing rate increases with the increase in exercise. It means that there will be an increase in the respiratory rate when there is the increase in the exercise. It means that the exercise and the respiratory rate are having the directly proportional relation. This is because as the rate of activity increases, the requirement of oxygen is also increased. Over here you can also see a chart of effect of exercise on respiratory system. You can see two columns, the short term effects and the long term effects. The short term effects include respiratory rate increases, tidal volume increases, rate of exchange increases, and the long term effect includes lung volume increases, pulmonary diffusion increases, residual volume increases, and the efficiency of respiratory muscle increases. Voluntary apnea, we have discussed that voluntary apnea means cessation of breathing, discontinuous of breathing, stoppage of breathing, सांस का रुक जाना. So when there is a discontinuity in breathing, then definitely our respiratory rate gonna be affected. Effect of hyperventilation. Hyperventilation is basically breathing which is more deeper and more rapid than normal. It is also causing respiratory alkalosis, which means removal of carbon dioxide from the blood. It means that when a person is hyperventilating, there is also the change in the respiratory rate of that person. Now you can see a procedure here, that is stethography. Stethography is basically a process of recording the respiratory movement, and for this process we require an instrument. That instrument is called stethograph. It consists of corrugated canvas rubbing tubing measuring approximately 6 cm long and 3 to 4 cm in diameter. It has two side clips and an open link chain. One end of the stethograph is closed while the other end is connected to the kymograph by pressure rubbing tubing. Now you can see in this slide there is a picture of stethograph and the Marais timbre. You can see the labeling as well. Basically the combination of these two things are helping us to record the respiratory rates in different conditions like talking, swallowing, speaking, after walking, after exercise and coughing, etc. Now, what is the procedure of recording respiratory rate? First of all, the stethograph is tied around the person's chest at the level of fourth intercostal space, and then it is connected to the Marais timbre. The drum is set at the low speed and the lever is connected with the paper of kymograph. Now first we will be recording the normal respiratory rate, and then we will ask the person to read something so that we could observe the effect of reading on normal respiratory rate, and then we have to note down the reading. After that we will ask the person to drink a glass of water so that we could note down the respiratory rate after the effect of deglutition, which means swallowing something. Then effect of voluntary apnea, that is holding the breath, on respiratory rate is observed and noted. Then we ask the person to hyperventilate as deep as possible, and then the rate is noted. Chest piece is then removed and the person is asked to exercise, which could be anything, jogging, walking, etc., in order to record the respiratory rate after exercise. After all these things, we will note down all the readings of the respiratory rate during normal breathing, reading, coughing, deglutition, exercise, voluntary apnea, and hyperventilation. And in this way, we will complete our experiment. Here you can see the references from where the content is assembled. I hope you liked the presentation and the topic is clear enough. Thank you so much.